Chelsea runs into Lily at Crimson Lights and pays her condolences for Damien and fills her in on Cain showing up randomly a few weeks ago. Lily realizes there must have been a way out of the chateau all along, and all the chaos could have been avoided. The deaths are on Cain, and she'll never forgive him. Both women are clueless about what he wants. Lily feels she doesn't recognize him. She rants about it being Colin's fault until Chelsea warns that Cain's plan must be big, and they need to be on guard. Lily admits her kids are in the dark about Cain. She doesn't know how to tell them their megalomaniac father has been lying to the world for 6 years. They chat about how Connor has been coping and how things are better between Chelsea and Adam than they've ever been. She remarks on how great it is that Adam's stepped out of his father's shadow, which is a sure sign that's going to become an issue again. At the Tack House, Nikki, Victoria, and Claire discuss today being Cole's memorial. Kyle arrives with flowers that Nate sent. He's in Chicago with Amy, sorting out Damien's affairs. Nikki warns that Kyle attending the memorial with the family is sure to wrinkle Victor's nose. Claire declares she won't let him push her boyfriend away when she needs him the most. At the ranch, Nick tells Adam the kids are clueless about what happened in Nice. Victor harps that Adam failed to follow his orders to launch devastating articles about Billy. Adam claims Cain and all that was happening in Nice took priority. Victor warns he'd better follow his orders next time. The mustache insists that Billy will be Cain's partner, and he wants him crushed. Nick and Adam furrow their brows and huff. Nikki, Victoria, Claire, and Kyle arrive. Nikki immediately asks her husband not to say anything he will regret. Grumbling, he brushes past her and tells Claire he knows how hard today will be. When she says it means a lot that Kyle is there, he immediately snubs her and leads her mom away. Victoria admits to her mom that it keeps hitting her that this is all unfair. Nikki assures her she has a purse full of tissues for her and lets her sob. Claire takes Kyle aside and tells him how glad she is that he's home, no matter how her grandfather is acting. As they hold each other, Victor repeats his order to Adam. He needs to release the slander stories on Billy. As Victor steps out, Chelsea arrives. She heard Victor and reminds Adam what her take on this is. As she steps away, Nick tells Adam he finally understands why he delayed the attack. "You're gonna have to pick a side, Slick," he advises. In his suite at the athletic club, Cain opens the door to Phyllis and her fruit basket. He explains he's not planning to stay in the hotel long. He will be living on his train. As it turns out, he has an identical train on every continent. "Go big or go home," she says, impressed. Cain explains that someone will be joining them. She's sure it must be a heavy hitter. It's Billy, and he's eager to make waves. He hands Cain a toy train. Phyllis says it seems like he thinks Cain is 5 years old and tells him his real train is chugging over as they speak. Getting serious, Cain announces he has big plans for Genoa City and needs a dedicated team he can trust. This sets Phyllis and Billy bickering about who is more trustworthy and has been a bigger failure in business. Eventually, Cain gets bored with this and says he needs people who get along. Billy claims they are just doing professional foreplay, but wonders what Cain thinks Phyllis even brings to the table. Phyllis shoots back that all he has are bad jokes. Billy claims he has broad knowledge of Chancellor and assumes Cain wants that. Cain explains that Chancellor is only part of the agenda. He's also targeting Newman and Jabot. Billy clams up. Phyllis prods him to confirm that he's okay with going after his family's company. Cain would like an answer about that too. Billy needs more information. Cain wants to fold all of the major companies in the city into one. That way, he will be able to touch every aspect of life. This sounds impossibly ambitious to the abbot, but 7-Train Cain has the finances to make it possible, makes noises about fighting them all to the death. Billy's on board with going after Newman, but attacking Jabot feels like revenge, and he needs to know why. "This isn't about revenge," Cain insists. His motives are personal, which also means they are none of his business. He only wants their loyalty. Billy feels like he's being asked to hitch himself to a cyclone, so Ashby offers to fold Abbott Communications in with the other companies. Washed-up gambler Billy has to contemplate this, but Phyllis is all in. When Billy asks what would happen if he told Jack his plans, Cain says it would make no difference. Billy assumes he has a secret weapon. "Join us and find out," Cain challenges. Back at Crimson Lights, Lily flashes back to fighting with Cain about teaming up with his father again. He hoped that she would eventually see how Colin had changed, and also changed him. She texts the kids, telling them they need to schedule a group talk. Lily adds that their father needs to tell them something, so they should reach out to him. Back at the ranch, the Newmans return from the memorial and tell Claire how proud her dad would have been of her speech. Nikki says today is the start of healing. For Claire, it feels like part of her is missing and things will never be the same. Her grandma promises memories of Cole will make her smile one day. Victor toasts to Cole, noting that many others have tried to become part of the family and were left outside. Nikki and Victoria are agog by the obvious dig. "Are you serious? Are you using my father's memory against Kyle?" Claire asks. Everyone tries to calm her down, but she knows what Victor is doing. He refuses to apologize, so she declares that she's done with his efforts to break up her relationship and run her life. She storms out with Kyle trailing behind. "Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel, Pulse Canvas. It's me, Julie here. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. Keep watching. So let's dive into today's video. Welcome to the Young and the Restless Daily YAPP for a quick, and by that, I mean you're already halfway done, recap of the most amazing or what the heck did we just watch moments on today's episode. Let's get to it. After watching The Young and the Restless today, I think I must be forgetting something. When did Chelsea and Lily become BFFs? They probably shared a screen a time or two before, but please jog my memory when it was that Lily would confide in Chelsea. Sure, she's got a beef with her ex, and definitely talking to Chelsea fueled that fire. Finding out they could have left the estate the whole time, might have saved lives was a shocker, and a good reason to be upset. But Lily is super concerned that her kids might find out that their horrible father has been lying to the world by becoming a billionaire, and he wants her back. Ooh, the horror. But aside from her confusing level of rage about Cain, when she's claimed to have gotten along with him for the past 6 years, or why she's so convinced she can tell him how to live his life, Lily claims to be mostly worried about their kids' reactions to the news that their dad is Aristotle Dumas when it's inevitably is revealed in the press. So why, then, is she giving the inside scoop to the media? Instead of calling Maddie and Charlie first, Lily told Chelsea everything she could think of about Cain and his motivation, future plans, etc. If you want to shield your kids from the press, maybe don't feed them the information yourself. And it's not like she forgot. Lily asked Chelsea when Newman Media would break the story before launching into a gossipy therapy session with the CEO of the company. Want more details? We got you! Soap Central has the best full Y&R recaps on the internet. You can even go back over 30 years and read each and every one of them. If you can't wait until the next episode, we have daily spoilers too. And whatever you do this weekend, do not. Seriously, do not. Forget to read the 2 scoops for some laughs in the as close as we can come to being a watching party without actually being a show. And the best part is, if you agree or disagree, we want to know. As always, share your comments below. In the wake of Cain's disastrous hosting gig in Nice, France, which included the death of not only a new character we were just warming to, but also the last remaining member of a core young and restless family, Lily's laser-focused ex turns up in Genoa City. We're here to tell you that things are sure to get interesting, considering the one person who can put a stop to his diabolical plans is also slated for a return. It's an understatement to say Ashby's unwelcome in Genoa City, and most don't even know that he's plotting to take over every company in town. That will only make matters worse. With Phyllis and Billy ready to commit all manner of shenanigans and machinations to further Cain's agenda, and their own in the process, it's bound to get messy. But there is one person who has immense influence over Cain, and who hasn't yet been a part of the story. We recently spoke out about what needed to happen after Chance's death, and this return kills 2 birds with 1 stone. As Cain aligns with Billy and Phyllis to presumably target Chancellor before moving on to Newman Enterprises, Jabot and others, the woman Ashby considers a mother will pay a visit to Genoa City. Yes, Jess Walton is back this week as Jill Foster Abbott. But it's not Cain she focuses on at first. Watch for Jill to immediately pick up where she left off with her biological son, Billy, per Young and Restless spoilers. The teaser indicates that Billy, who was furious when Jill sold Chancellor Industries out from under him to Victor, will have a heated exchange with his mother. It's fair to say that Jill wound up having a better relationship with Cain than she did with her biological son, despite him gaslighting her into believing he was her presumed dead son Philip when he first came to town. It stands to reason, then, that if Cain's scheme comes to her attention, she might be the only person with any chance of talking him down. It's not clear if Jill will return to Genoa City in person or via video call, so she may not learn of Cain's plans. The appearance may only be to mark Chance's passing and to fuel Billy's fire, which doesn't bode well for, well, anyone. Watch for Jill to turn up on the Tuesday, August 5th episode of Young and Restless. The Young and the Restless spoilers update for the week of August 4 to 8 reveals that Adam Newman's mistake will haunt while Claire Newman strikes back, and Jack Abbott considers doing a favor for Nikki Newman. First, Claire will blow her top at Victor Newman for treating Kyle Abbott like garbage and constantly trying to ruin their relationship. After Victor pushes Claire too far and drives her away, Nikki will slam her husband over his behavior. Look for Nikki to turn to Jack with a request as well, so he'll decide if he's willing to do her a favor, potentially one that'll affect his feud with Victor. Billy Abbott will face a difficult decision of his own since Cain Ashby will admit he's targeting Jabot as part of all his grand Genoa City plans. Can Billy get on board with that and go against his own family's company? Phyllis Summers will taunt Billy along the way and assure Cain that she'll be his loyal right-hand woman no matter what if he'll let her. As for Adam, Y&R spoilers say he'll face a lecture for not publishing the Billy hit pieces that Victor demanded. Adam did a good deed by climbing up the mountain to warn his family about Cain's real estate grab back in GC, but that doesn't mean Victor will be okay with him not following orders. Victor will remind Adam that when he tells him to do something, he expects it to be done. Adam will face more pressure to launch media attacks on Billy, so he may have no choice but to do it, and Chelsea Lawson may just have to live with that. Later, Victor will fire Audra Charles, while Kyle tells Claire his side of the story regarding what went down in Nice. Once Claire gets updates on Victor hiring Audra to seduce Kyle and destroy their romance, she'll seek out Audra for a confrontation. Claire and Kyle will eventually pay a visit to Adam's office, where they'll have a proposal to make. This could be about moving in Adam's old condo, if it's still available. But will Adam be willing to go against Victor and reach an agreement? Back with Billy, he'll get into a fierce argument with Jill Abbott. It's clear that the tension between Jill and Billy hasn't gone away, so they'll lash out at each other all over again. Finally, Victor will push Lily Winters to play a role in his Cain payback scheme. Since Victor will lock in a deal with someone, will Lily surrender to his plan, or could someone else become Victor's ally against Cain? The Young and the Restless spoilers update for Tuesday, August 5th reveals that Victor Newman will face some broken family backlash, while Cain Ashby awaits Billy Abbott's answer. Since Victor pushed Claire Newman too far with his efforts to drive Kyle Abbott out of her life, he'll pay the price for that. Claire won't be the only one who's outraged since Victoria Newman and Nikki Newman will take her side. In fact, Nikki will have a heated confrontation with Victor about his overbearing ways. Victor always thinks he knows best when it comes to his children and grandchildren, but they deserve to live their own lives. Nikki won't be happy about Victor causing so much family drama with his constant bossiness. Claire's outburst will leave Nikki worried about her granddaughter's fractured bond with Victor and whether it can be repaired. Meanwhile, Phyllis Summers will make her own future the priority. We'll see Phyllis play up her ability to be loyal to Cain in a way that Billy may not be able to. Billy will struggle with whether he can be part of this alliance when Cain intends to go after Jabot. Cain is willing to give Billy some time to contemplate his answer, but he may pressure Billy to decide sooner rather than later since he wants to get this show on the road. Of course, Billy will remain curious about the ace Cain seems to have up his sleeve. Could Cain have a surprise ally that Billy and Phyllis won't see coming? Could it be Jill Abbott since she'll return in Tuesday's Y&R episode? Jill sold Chancellor to Victor and watched him put Nikki in charge, But it's possible she's second-guessing that decision now. Perhaps Cain has convinced Jill to help him get the company back. If so, Billy is going to flip out since there's still so much tension in his relationship with his mom. Jill and Billy have a fierce face-off coming up, so stay tuned to see if Cain or someone else will play referee. Regardless, Cain will await Billy's answer when it comes to whether he's willing to partner up. Jill will also address her heartbreak over Chance Chancellor's demise, so we'll see if she blames Cain on some level for summoning him to Nice. Genoa City just got a whole lot hotter because Cain is officially back, and baby, he is single, sizzling, and absolutely not here to sip tea on the sidelines. This man is wealthy, powerful, and deliciously complicated. So the real question is, who's going to be the lucky lady to lock lips with this heartthrob on the young and the restless? Now we know the obvious answer, Lily. Their history is legendary, their chemistry is undeniable, and fans are still nursing that broken dream. But please, no instant rekindling. Let's slow burn this baby. We want smirks, accidental touches, shared glances, and maybe even a late-night emergency that throws them into each other's arms, purely by chance, of course. Give us tension, give us sass, give us a love story that simmers until it's ready to explode. But in the meantime, let Cain play. This man didn't return to mope. We want him in the mix, flirty, fun, and wildly unpredictable. Imagine the chaos if Phyllis decides she wants a taste of danger and Cain becomes her rebound of choice. She's fiery, impulsive, and could absolutely wreck him, which would make for amazing TV. Or what if Amanda gets tired of stability and wants a little bad boy energy in her life? Those two could burn bright and crash harder, and we'd be front row for every twist. If not Amanda, then maybe Victoria. Even Victoria might not resist his tall, dark, and mysterious charm. Let's not forget she's had worse ideas. Oh, or Tracy. Remember that little creative muse moment they had years ago? What if they try again, but with real romance on the table this time? Sure, they might realize they're better as friends, but that journey could still be sweet and soul-stirring. And if all else fails, toss him in the deep end with Audra. No explanation, just vibes. Let them make out in a back room, then pretend it never happened. Because why not? Cain deserves a little fun before the inevitable Lily reunion, and viewers deserve the messy ride. The bottom line? Cain's return shouldn't be quiet. It should be loud, sexy, and full of possibilities. Soaps are for passion, conflict, and unpredictable romance. Cain's love life should be all that and more. We want mess. We want passion. Most of all, we want Cain shirtless in a bed making us swoon. The Young and the Restless spoilers tease that tense drama is ahead on the CBS soap opera. Billy Abbott refuses to tell his mother, Jill Abbott, about Chance Chancellor's murder. He knows that his mother will come unglued. More than his mother's reaction, he fears how Nina Webster will react to the news. Billy will ask Cain to call his mother to deliver the crushing blow. Y&R spoilers state that Cain hasn't talked to Jill in quite a while, so the viewers can expect the phone call to be awkward to say the least. The Young and the Restless spoilers reveal that Billy refuses to notify Jill that Chance has been murdered by Carter. Billy fears his mother's reaction and doesn't want her to blame him in any way. If history repeats itself, Billy knows that Jill will find a way to blame him for Chance's death. Jill won't understand Billy's actions, especially his plot to steal Chancellor Industries from Nikki Newman. She will assume her son is up to his shady schemes and won't follow through with any sort of action. Now, Chance is dead, and while Billy had nothing to do with it, his plot to take over Chancellor Industries will put Jill in a bad mood. She sold the company to Victor Newman for Nikki to run. If she wanted Billy to run it, she would have allowed him to stay in power at the company. It seems likely that Jill will return to Genoa City for Chance's funeral. She will pay her respects to her grandson and check in with Billy. The Young and the Restless spoilers state that Billy might give Jill the heads up that he is going after Chancellor Industries. For all we know, Billy might even inform her of his partnership with Cain. If he does, Jill will likely come unglued, knowing Cain is a con man and cannot be trusted. The Young and the Restless spoilers reveal some tense moments are ahead on the CBS soap opera. Keep watching to see how it all plays out. Y&R fans, Do you think Jill will return for Chance's funeral? Please share your thoughts with us in the comments section below. The Young and the Restless spoilers for the next 3 weeks, August 4th to August 22, reveal that Lily Winters will react to a tempting offer while Audra Charles loses big time. Kyle Abbott will also infuriate Victor Newman. So here's what Y&R fans can expect. The week of August 4 to 8 will put pressure on Adam Newman, since Victor will revisit the topic of the Newman media hit pieces on Billy Abbott. Victor won't let this go, so Adam may have to hit publish on a smear campaign. Chelsea previously objected to Adam going after Billy, but she may relent on the idea since Victor is proving relentless. Besides, Chelsea may not be too happy with Billy for the Cain-Ashby alliance that he seems poised to lock in. Of course, Billy will have some concerns about Cain going after Jabot, but he may move forward with a partnership anyway. This could prove disastrous for Billy. And Jack Abbott's already strained relationship. But Billy has tunnel vision when it comes to scoring Chancellor right now. Once Jill returns and faces off with Billy, viewers will see Phyllis Summers get under Billy's skin. Phyllis won't want Billy thinking he can replace her as the main person in Cain's corner right now. After Claire Newman lashes out at Victor for trying to control her love life, Kyle Abbott will have a confession to make. Once Kyle divulges what played out with Audra Charles in Nice, Claire will track Audra down and rip into her. Claire will be furious over Victor hiring Audra to derail her future with Kyle, so she'll put Audra in her place. Audra will also lose Vibrante, since Victor's set to fire her over her failure. Nate Hastings will be all Audra has left, and that romance may not last long now that Kyle's ready to blab about her actions in France. Since Kyle and Claire will turn to Adam for help later, they may hope that moving in Adam's old apartment is still an option. Claire and Kyle will want to take the next move-in step together, but you can bet Victor will be livid. Whether Adam caves in or not, Kyle's romantic progress with Claire will definitely set Victor off. As for Lily, she'll hear an intriguing pitch. Lily will find out Victor wants her assistance when it comes to seeking Cain vengeance, so she'll react to that news. Although Lily may balk initially, she could have a change of heart if Cain keeps making dirty moves and keeping secrets. Lily might actually be tempted to become part of Victor's vengeful arrangement, especially if Cain does something to push her over the edge. Whatever the case, Victor will definitely gain a new ally soon, so stay tuned for updates on whether it'll be Lily or another character. During the week of August 11 to 15, Cain will continue to put all the pieces in place for his Genoa City powerhouse business. Of course, Cain will keep pursuing Lily as well, but she could end up manipulating him depending on how things go with Victor. As for Mariah Copeland, her marriage to Tessa Porter will come with more challenges. The distance may grow wider between Tessa and Mariah, while Daniel Romalotti Jr. takes the opportunity to grow closer to Tessa. Meanwhile, Sharon Newman will struggle to know where things stand with Nick Newman. Nick wasn't very interested in talking about their kiss, and ultimately suggested they should just see if it happens again. However, that'll leave Sharon wondering what exactly Nick wants their relationship to be. It could bring some awkwardness and some strain that neither one of them anticipated. The week of August 18-22 will bring some bold moves as Cain and Victor's rivalry heats up. Victor thinks Cain is a punk who deserves to be taken down a few notches, so he'll work hard to make that happen. Cain isn't intimidated by Victor, but maybe he should be. No one ever achieves real victory in a Victor fight like this one, so Cain had better watch out. As for Claire and Kyle, they should settle into cohabitation if all goes well. For weeks, Genoa City has been draped in a veil of mourning, convinced that Damien and Chance were brutally murdered on a lavish French estate. The official story painted a grim picture of betrayal and bloodshed, leaving a power vacuum and a trail of unanswered questions. But as any seasoned viewer knows, in this town, the truth is never as simple as a tombstone, and a body is never truly gone until you've seen it. Now, the whispers that have haunted the edges of the tragedy are roaring to life. Sources close to the situation confirm the unthinkable. Damien and Chance are alive. Discovered clinging to life, they were rescued not by authorities, but by a mysterious doctor operating in the shadows of the French countryside. This phantom physician, whose name has been scrubbed from every record, intercepted death itself, spiriting the two men away to a hidden medical ward to mend their broken bodies and plot their return. While they recover, their motivations have crystallized. Damien, consumed by a white-hot fury, is focused on revenge. He wants justice against Cain, who orchestrated the trap, and Carter, the assistant-turned-assassin, whose blade nearly ended it all. Chance, ever the strategist, is less emotional but equally determined. His focus is on dismantling the entire network of betrayal, piece by methodical piece. They are a force of nature in waiting, preparing to unleash a storm on those who wrote them off for dead. Meanwhile, a second, quieter war is brewing back home. Kyle Abbott has returned from France, burdened by a devastating secret: the full extent of Victor Newman's manipulation. He witnessed firsthand how Victor and Audra conspired to drive a wedge between him and Claire, seeing Claire's sharp intuition as a threat to the Newman empire. Victor didn't want a strong, perceptive woman tethered to his family, and he used Audra as his weapon to ensure Kyle remained isolated and controllable. After struggling under the weight of his silence, Kyle finally confessed everything to a grieving Claire. He laid bare the calculated plot to sabotage their relationship, revealing that Audra was acting on Victor's direct orders, but instead of shattering their bond, the revelation forged it into steel. Claire, her grief turning to righteous anger, is no longer playing the victim. She has seen Victor for who he is, and she refuses to be pushed aside. United by this shared betrayal, Kyle and Claire have formed a quiet but formidable alliance. They are no longer seeking Victor's approval or entertaining Audra's games. They have chosen each other, and in doing so, have drawn a new battle line. Genoa City is now a powder keg. On one side, two men believed to be dead are planning a spectacular resurrection to expose their enemies. On the other, a young couple has declared silent war on the most powerful man in town. The question is no longer if these secrets will explode, but when, and who will be left standing in the ashes when they do. The reckoning is coming. Daytime Emmy-winning actress Jess Walton is making her way back to Y&R as the legendary Jill Abbott. Fans can expect to see her return on Tuesday, August 5th, when Jill has a tense confrontation with Billy. While the spoilers for the episode keep things vague, they hint at a heated exchange between mother and son. Could Jill be checking in on Billy's latest business decisions, or is she calling him out for something more personal, like Chance's death? Get updates on the latest posts and more from soapspoilers.com straight to your inbox. This marks Walton's first appearance on the soap since November 26, 2024, when Jill fired Billy as head of Abbott Chancellor during a dramatic video call. With Jill's reappearance, tensions are probably set to rise. We're curious as to whether she'll be laying down the law again or trying to make peace with her son. Stay tuned to see what brings Jill home and what kind of fireworks go off when she and Billy face off in person. Would you like to see Jill back in a more permanent capacity if it allows? Leave us a comment under the article or find our Young and Restless Canadian Day Ahead recaps group, your go-to spot for spoilers, in-depth day-ahead Canadian recaps, and all the latest Genoa City gossip. Don't miss a moment, join the conversation today. Genoa City is no stranger to heartbreak. But this time, it's not a scandal, a hostile takeover, or even a family betrayal that rocks the Chancellor legacy. It's death. Tragic, sudden, unforgivable. Word of Chance, the Chancellor's brutal murder, sent a ripple through the corridors of power, but inside Billy Abbott, it struck like an earthquake. He didn't flinch from the violence itself. He's seen too much to be surprised by darkness. What froze him in place was something far heavier: the knowledge that he now held a truth he wasn't ready to speak, because telling Jill would mean shattering her completely. She's not just a mother, she's the keeper of the Chancellor legacy, a woman who's fought for her family, her fortune, and her name with a fire few could match. And now, the unthinkable. Her grandson was gone. Taken during a business summit abroad, a meeting that turned bloody in the blink of an eye, with Carter at the center of the chaos. Billy was there. He knew something had been off. He suspected Carter. He watched the tension build, stood in the very hallway where the violence erupted. And he did nothing. So how could he be the one to tell Jill? The guilt was crushing, but the fear of her wrath, of her judgment, was paralyzing. Billy had seen Jill in grief before. When she lost her temper, there were no survivors. And more than once, that fury had landed squarely on him. Every misstep he had ever made, every scandal, every failed deal, every reckless decision, had been ammunition for Jill. And now? He knew she'd see this as the final betrayal. Not just that Chance died, but that Billy didn't stop it, that he kept it quiet. In the silence of his spiraling guilt, Billy made a choice, a desperate one. He turned to Cain Ashby. Cain, who hadn't spoken to Jill in months. Their relationship fractured, their bond barely recognizable. But maybe that cold distance was the shield she needed. Maybe if the news didn't come from her son, she could absorb it without destroying him in the process. So Billy didn't ask, he begged. Cain, after a long, hollow pause, agreed. Not for reconciliation, not for Jill, for the truth. A truth that could no longer wait. When Jill picked up the phone, her voice was brisk, impatient. She wasn't expecting pain. But the moment she heard Cain's voice, it cracked something in her. It had been too long, too much had been buried, but nothing could prepare her for what came next. First confusion, then disbelief, and finally, silence. When Cain said the words, "Chance is gone," the line went dead quiet. Not from disconnection, but from devastation. Jill didn't scream. She didn't collapse. She just stopped. And then came the explosion. "Where's Billy?" she demanded. "Why didn't he tell me? What was he thinking?" Before Cain could speak, she answered for herself. "Because it's his fault." It was everything Billy had feared, unfolding with brutal precision. Jill didn't see Carter as the sole culprit. She saw Billy's silence as complicity. And in her grief, she resurrected every failure he'd ever dragged behind him, every betrayal, every weakness, every time she'd hoped he would do better, and he didn't. Fair? No. But grief doesn't play fair, not when a mother loses a grandson. What made it worse, what hardened Jill's rage into suspicion, was what she didn't know about Billy's recent moves. His sudden, quiet attempts to seize more control of Chancellor Winters, his uneasy alliance with Phyllis, the shadow deals he was pursuing without explanation. And now, with Chance dead, Jill's worry had evolved into certainty. The Young and the Restless scoop for Monday, August 4th, reveals Claire Newman will tell Victor Newman she's done with appeasing him. Also coming up, Lily Winters will learn disturbing news from Chelsea Lawson. Plus, Billy Abbott will find out Cain Ashby is coming for Jabot. And Victor will give Adam Newman an ultimatum about the hit pieces. Y&R spoilers tease Lily will be shocked to learn that Chelsea saw and spoke with Cain in Genoa City while they were all in France. So the whole time, there was a way in and out of the chateau, she'll say. After Chelsea leaves, Lily will call her kids and ask them to reach out to their father. At the Tack House, Claire, Victoria Newman, and Nikki Newman will prepare for Cole Howard's memorial. Kyle Abbott will walk in with flowers, saying they're not from him. Victoria will read the card and say they're from Nate Hastings, who's in Chicago for his brother's funeral. Nikki will say they need to talk about Victor, who is going to blow a gasket when he learns Kyle will be traveling to the memorial with them. So, Kyle will say he'll sneak in the back. "I love my grandfather, but I'm not going to allow him to push Kyle away," Claire will say. Meanwhile, Adam will show up at the ranch, and Victor will ask why he didn't publish the hit pieces on Billy Boy Abbott. Adam will explain that he was busy protecting the family from Cain. He'll remind Victor he hiked up a steep mountain in France to warn them. "I asked you to do something. When I ask you to do something, please do it," Victor will say. But he'll give him a pass this time. Nick Newman will say he doesn't think they should do a hit piece either, since they know Cain is Dumas. What both of you fail to grasp is that Billy Boy Abbott is about to become a full partner of Cain Ashby, Victor will tell his sons. "I want Billy Abbott crushed." Then Nikki, Victoria, Claire, and Kyle will arrive. Victor will approach them and ignore Kyle as he puts his hand out for a handshake. He'll tell Claire he knows it's going to be difficult, but they're there for her. And it means a lot that Kyle's here too, she'll reply. But Victor won't even look at him. Instead, he'll walk over to Adam and say he better launch the attack on Billy, just as Chelsea walks in. She'll say she hopes Adam will do the right thing. Victor will get a call and say the cars are ready and they'll head out. In the next scene, they'll all walk back into the ranch. Nikki will comment, "It was a beautiful service." Not surprisingly, the entire memorial will take place off-screen. Victor will propose a toast to Cole and how he rightfully considered himself a member of their family. "There have been many who tried to become a member of our family, but were left outside," he'll continue. But that wasn't the case with Cole. Everyone will glance at Kyle, and Claire will be livid. "Are you serious?" she'll ask her grandfather. "You're using my father's memory against Kyle?" Victor will say he'll do what's best for his family and make no apologies for it. Claire will tell Victor her father supported her and Kyle. "So do my mother and my grandmother. From now on, he won't have a say on how she lives her life and who she chooses to live it with." I'm done. In Cain's suite at the GCAC, Phyllis Summers will ask why he's not in the penthouse suite since he owns the place. Cain will say it's only temporary. He'll be living on his train. Phyllis will ask if he's having his train shipped to Genoa City. "I have an identical train on every continent, so my American train is making its way here." Then Billy will come to the door and ask Cain if he's ready to get started. He hopes they're going after Victor. "Newman is definitely on the table," he'll reply. "So is Jabot." Billy's face will drop. "What's the matter, Billy?" Phyllis will ask him. "You look pale." So Cain will ask if he'll have a problem targeting his family's company. He'll add he plans to fold all the companies in town into one huge conglomerate. Finally, Billy will say he's all for going after Newman and Chancellor, but he wants to know why Cain's also after Jabot. "Neither you or Phyllis need to worry about my motives," he'll reply. Billy will say he needs time to think about it, and he'll ask if he has a secret weapon. "Join us and find out," Cain will reply. Keep reading the Soap Scoop for Young and the Restless spoilers and news, and make sure to also join our Y&R Facebook group or leave us a reply in our comments section. But if you miss an episode, don't fret. You can watch The Young and the Restless online at cbs.com. Amanda's been MIA since everyone returned to Genoa City. Everyone is finally home from Nice on The Young and the Restless, but Amanda went missing. Does she intend to follow Cain, or is she busy cleaning up his mess? Amanda is missing in action. Almost everyone has returned home from Nice. Cain is set on returning to Genoa City and will likely live at Genoa City Athletic Club even though he's a billionaire who has his pick of properties. His right-hand woman Amanda, however, has gone missing. Will she still want to work with him? Amanda seemed fed up with her job after Carter confessed to Damien's murder and caused a bloodbath. She warned Cain that it's not a good look to leave Nice with blood on his hands, but he's determined to redeem himself and win Lily back. Amanda could slowly return to Genoa City. She might be back in France to clean up the mess Cain left from the party he staged. This time might allow her to examine her life and maybe reconsider working for him. Amanda is turning into Michael, in which she'll be tested on how far she'll go to protect a client. She might also have a hand in Cain's next moves. He still wants to take over Genoa City. Cain is keeping a close eye on everyone's properties and businesses, even the Newmans and the Chancellors. This won't make him look good in the eyes of his ex-wife. Meanwhile, Amanda could be doing Cain's illegal bidding for him. She will devise ways to cover up their legal contracts. Cain is planning to devour everyone's properties as if he's Pac-Man. What are your thoughts? Do you think Amanda will show her face in Genoa City? Let us know your thoughts in the comments section. Cain has a long road ahead of him in Genoa City. This week's Soul Burn involves Cain's storyline, The Young and the Restless. He's on a long road to redemption. Despite what happened in Nice, Cain is determined to move back to Genoa City and make everything right again. But first, he'll screw up some more. So, Cain has a long road ahead of him. He believes that everyone is going to forget about the bloodbath that happened in Nice. No, they're a little traumatized right now and could use some deep therapy. However, Cain won't let them forget what happened in the last few days. Instead of going back into hiding, he's following them all the way to Genoa City. He's determined to redeem himself to Lily and everyone else. He's making it his full-time job. This also sets up Cain's future. He could become the next Victor Newman, although it's hard to replace them. Both have made billions of dollars independently. They also have a difficult relationship with their fathers and questionable business dealings. These two have more in common than they care to admit, but they won't be having tea together anytime soon. Victor vowed to take Cain down. The two will continue to compete against each other. The town of GC could be split into two groups. It'll be interesting to see where Cain fits in and how he operates. It's going to be hard for him to defeat Victor, though. He's the godfather of Genoa City, and he can never lose. This is especially the case since Cain is now public enemy number one. He successfully took that title away from Tucker. Cain's recent actions set the tragedy that transpired in motion. He literally had blood on his hands. And yet, he thinks he can make it up to Nate and Jill. He has another thing coming. Also, Cain is still keeping secrets from this crew, who's already got eyes on him. He enlisted Holden to keep an eye on Mariah. However, he didn't realize that he was working with a newbie. Holden messed up big time when Chelsea caught on to him. You can't fool another fellow con artist. Hopefully, we will find out about Mariah's secret and what Holden has to do with it. Cain could use this as ammunition against the Newmans, especially if she did kill that old man. But this is a terrible way to redeem himself. The longer that Cain plays out this con, the longer his road to redemption will be.